All right, let's get started. So we have our judges here, our entrepreneurs are here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with presentations tonight. We'll start with some introductions, and then I'll have the judges introduce themselves. But Scott, we're ready? I think we are. Before I get started, I just wanted to point this out. I'm going to try my very best to stay within this little box area so I can be seen by Scott. But I also want to let the entrepreneurs know when you come up here to present, there is an X right here on the floor. Please try your best to stay here. I'm guilty of moving around, but just try your best to stay right here. You're going to see the presentation in front of you, and try your best to speak into the mic as well, so we can all hear you, okay? All right, cool. I'll be sitting right there, so if I have to cue you, just get back in the X, okay? All right. Some quick introductions. I think we're all friends here, but I'm Jay Melendez. I'm the program manager for the Pioneer Valley EforAll site. Thank you, thank you. And then we have our lovely Tessa here, who is the executive director. And then Maria, she came back because she just loves us. Maria. So what is EforAll? EforAll is a nonprofit organization that was created to support entrepreneurs in the early stages of starting a business. How do we do that? We do that by providing a free 12-week Accelerator program, hybrid, where entrepreneurs are learning how to run the back end of their business. You're learning how to price your product, how to identify your top customer. You're learning about the books, right? You're learning just a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily learn just because you know how to provide a service or a product. So that's what you're going to be learning at EforAll. And we're all over the place. There's about 13 sites. Should I be talking about how it is now? It's completely virtual now. So we're completely national, so now anyone in the U.S. can apply for this program, which is amazing. It's going to be completely virtual, so it's great. It's great what's happening. We're going to be able to service so many more entrepreneurs. We had about 70 apply for this program, and we only took about 11 to 12. Now, starting in 2026, that's going to change. We're going to take a lot more entrepreneurs, and there's also going to be more accelerators running throughout the year, because I think as of now, we only have 2, and now beginning in 2026, there's about to be 4, right? 4 programs running throughout the year, which is amazing. So what do we do? What's the impact numbers? So over 1,700 businesses have been started just in 2025 through EforAll, which is amazing. The program works. Out of those 1,700 businesses, they've been able to generate over $56 million. Again, this is amazing. These are the numbers that are being impacted through this program. And this is in 2023. Our numbers are completely different for 2025, right? Yes, they are. But they've been able to provide over 2,200 local jobs, again, just in 2023. So these are the impact numbers of what the work that's being done through EforAll, which is great. Let's give a hand of applause for EforAll and all the work that we do. So who are the business owners that are going through these programs? 76% are women-owned. You're going to get to see the majority of my cohort. But 74% are BIPOC-owned business owners, and 34% are immigrant-owned business owners. So these are the humans that are going through these programs. Most importantly, I think one of the most things that we're proud of here in EforAll is that at least 70% of these businesses are still up and running at the 3-year mark, and that's 8% above the US average. So that's amazing, guys. Without these sponsors, so how do we do this, right? This is a nonprofit program. We're not charging for our services. So we have our lovely Tessa over here, who works hard at building relationships and applying for grants that can take her forever. So here are some of our partners that donate: Santander Bank, People's Bank, MGCC, the Beverage Foundation, Holyoke, the City of Holyoke, Liberty Bank, Bank ESB, Mass Mutual Foundation, the Davis Foundation, Citizens Bank, and there's possibly some more, but thank you. Without them, we truly couldn't do this. And then, guys, a huge round of applause for my cohort. These are the amazing business owners that started back in July, and they're here, and you guys are going to hear all about them. So why are we here today, judges? We are here because these entrepreneurs just completed 12 weeks of intense classes. This is an accelerator program. They're learning a lot of information in a short amount of time. And this is stuff that you probably take 2 years learning in college. So it's very competitive, it's very intense, so we really have to give it up for them. You're gonna learn about who they are, what their business is. You'll learn about the goals that they set for themselves for the past 3 months. You'll learn about who their top customer is, what their value proposition is. You'll learn about their 18-month working plan. How is this gonna work? You'll learn about the feasibility and sustainability, right? What's the cost of this business? Is it actually gonna be feasible, right? Does it make sense? You'll learn about the organization operations in regards to how is this business gonna run, who's gonna work with it, who's gonna work in the business, and you'll learn about their social impact. This is their big why. Why are they doing this, and what is their give back to the community? And then most importantly, after you hear all about these topics, you're also gonna hear about the big ask. We ask the entrepreneurs to think about what do they need right at this minute after learning everything that they have learned about their business. What do they need in order to get to the next phase of their business? Sometimes that's not monetary, right? Sometimes it is. So this is very important for us to know after hearing what they've learned about their business. So you'll hear all about that at the end of their presentation. The entrepreneurs will be presenting for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna hand it off to the judges to ask questions for 10 minutes. We have Maria here in the corner. We're all gonna pay attention to our lovely Maria. She'll have time cards up, yes. So she'll let you know when you're at your 5-minute mark, when you are at 1 minute, and then when you are at 30 seconds, and then when you are completed. She will also be taking time when the judges are asking questions. If I see that we have more time for questions, I'll just let you guys know. You guys can keep asking questions. I think that's good, right? All right, I've done this so many times, 6 years, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna have all the judges introduce themselves. We'll start with Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina Bordeaux. I am a branch manager at M&T Bank in Feeding Hills. I've been in banking for 30 years. My primary focus is business development, helping businesses develop from the start, learning how to apply for lending, if you're not bankable, to work with other companies in the area, but a lot of business development, so I'm excited to hear your presentations.
Frank?
Hi, I'm Frank Daly, co-owner of Boston Bud Factory, a dispensary here in Holyoke, Massachusetts. I've worked in different roles with EforAll as a mentor. We also won a pitch contest once when we started our business, so I'm looking forward to hearing all the presentations and learning more.
My name is Mike Conley. I'm the CEO and founder of Launch and Standout. Most people know me for Standout Truck, our digital billboard truck company. I love entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 9 years old. It's literally the only thing that makes common sense to my brain. I'm excited to meet everybody and learn what you do, and you're gonna do great.
Hi there, my name is Regina. I'm the founder of Rise Event Production, and likewise, entrepreneurship is in my blood. My mom, my brother, my grandmother, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. It's really special to me, and so I'm really, really happy to be in this room and feeling very honored and very grateful and looking forward to the presentations.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Peyton Schubrick. I'm CEO and founder of Six Bricks. We're an adult use cannabis shop in my hometown of Springfield, Mass. We actually just celebrated 3 years last week, so figuring it out. Thank you, thank you. Entrepreneurship is something I feel very passionately about. I actually told my parents I was going to law school and then never went and just started a business instead. So very excited to be with you all today to hear about these amazing ideas and what motivates you to bring them to life. So thank you for including me.
One more round of applause for all of our judges. Who's ready? Who is ready? Come on. All right. So up first is Jailyne Rivera. Come on. You are the strongest right now. You're breaking the ice. We're going to stay at the X. We're going to remember to pay attention to Maria every so often, so that way you're keeping track of time, okay? Here's your clicker. You're going to click to the right, and whenever you're ready, you let Maria know, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. I am ready, Maria. All right. How are you guys doing this evening? All right. Just a general little icebreaker really quick. Has any of you worked a non-traditional job, meaning non-traditional hours? Anything after 8 to 4, anything after your typical 7 to 4? You can raise your hand really quick. Pretty much all of us, even in high school, probably college, it's normal for anyone to work after the 8 to 4. So, me, little backstory, I worked about 5 years on the night shift, 12 to 8 in the morning. They kicked me on the night shift because I was a new girl in my dispatch center. They do it by seniority, and I became a coffee snob, someone who liked energy drinks. It kept me up at night. And one day, Dunkin' messed up my order. I was very mad. It is what it is. But that kind of got my wheels turning, and I kind of explored the internet. And from there, down south is actually very popular. I decided to make a coffee business, but typically for people that work non-traditional hours. So my name is Jailyne Rivera. I own Priority Brewing Company, which is currently a mobile coffee cart, as you can see here. But my goal and true thing that I am aiming for right now is a coffee trailer to serve the people like me who work the evening and night shift. So some of my SMART goals that I worked on during this venture, just so you guys know, I did start this in June when we first started when we first started EforAll. This was just a business in my head. I didn't have it out at all. And I pitched it to EforAll, and they liked the idea that I gave them. So I continued with it. One of these goals that I set up for myself was to actually become a wholesaler for a coffee beans, which I do have. I proudly brew Six Depot, which is local. It's in West Stockbridge, about 40-50 minutes away. And I was actually super picky about what I decided what I wanted, because I was just a picky coffee drinker, but also I wanted something that was Hispanic owned, and he's actually from Argentina. So that was really important to me. Also, some of my SMART goals here: gain 50 repeat customers by the end of 2025, secure at least 3 private events bookings, weddings, ceremonies, anything like that. That's not including small vendor events, which I pay for. I want people to come to me actually and book these things, which a vendor event I'm paying $40, $50, $60 depending on what they charge. And by summer of 2027, have my coffee trailer. I pushed it out to that far because coming up with the numbers I assume it's gonna be, that coffee trailer right there is actually a renovated RV, which is a little bit more expensive than your typical trailers that are already empty inside, whereas this one you would have to rip apart completely and take out the bed and everything else in it. So I'm giving myself grace and doing 2027 for that. I'm not rushing it. Customer segment and value propositions. So my biggest customers are actually the Bay State nurses right now. So I currently did start my business, and I am serving night shift workers by pre-orders, and they have been nonstop ordering. These are some pictures I harassed them for, and they have been supporting me nonstop, and I appreciate them. And it's not all from the big Bay State building, it's from different segments of the Bay State. Also, just the 911 field in general. I grew up in the 911 field. I started being a 911 dispatcher at 18 years old. I'm now 28, and I'm still in the field. So these are the people I kind of knew, and they passed it along to their friends, and it continued to grow. So I believe word of mouth helped me tremendously. I had a big support system behind me when it came to my friends, and they decided to spread the news, and I am very thankful for that. All my customers have a very similar pain and gain. They need their coffees at non-traditional hours, which is anything after 4 or 5 o'clock. If you're a coffee snob like me, if you go to your coffee shops, they're closed by 3 or 4 o'clock. None of them are open by then. So my goal is to be that coffee trailer that's open for you at those non-traditional hours. I give them accessibility, high quality coffee, and I'm community driven. I want to serve my community. I want to be there for you. I want to be that person that you know you can seek out when you need your coffee. 18-month work plan. By summer of 2027, my business will generate about $14,450 in revenue while remaining with part-time hours. So this is not full-time. I'm not doing 40 hours a week. I'm not even doing 20 hours a week. I kind of make my schedule around my full-time job. I'm a mom, I have a family, I do a whole bunch of things at the same time, but this is a business that I love doing. I love serving people, I love making coffee. This is kind of my hobby outside of work, and luckily people pay me for it. So it's just been going. My break even so far is 59 drinks. After this point, every drink adds on profit, adjust with tax, about 30% each. That might be a little overboard, but I rather put extra just in case. This is an example of my menu right now. So how I created my menu when I first started Priority Brewing, I actually compared my menu to Starbucks, Dunkin' to see how everything was going to look like. And I didn't want to undersell my coffee. I didn't want to undersell me. My coffee is definitely on the high end, but I haven't received any full complaints about it. Everyone has been paying me without saying a side remark, you can say. Goals and milestones. Build my community, strong customer base, increase social media presence, which in the next slide you will see an example of that. Contracts, I would love to partner with local businesses. Some people have reached out to me with ideas, nothing set in stone yet, but I'm working with local businesses. Secure 50 plus events that would include the vendor events I pay for as well. Establish a trailer, hire staff, and expand options. I'm the only one working for myself right now. I do not have staff under me. I don't plan to have staff under me anytime soon. It just works that way for me. And create community hub, host large events, and full-time. I would love to do this full-time eventually. That's in the future, and I would love to host events myself. I love serving people, but also being in a community that people are like me. And I feel like being a dispatcher for so long, especially 18 years old, it gets to a point where I just want to seek something else. Financial feasibility and sustainability. This chart actually shows my 3 to 5 year estimate of volume of predicted sales if I was full-time. So this is about 600 drinks here. My revenue consistently goes up. My net profit consistently goes up. My fixed cost stays about the same. And my break even is 101 drinks. Every drink after is 5.94 profit. And I didn't put it in the slide before, I believe, but to make every drink currently, especially my most popular drink, is my $8 latte. It's about $1.95, and the only reason it costs that much right now is because of my stickers. I didn't know my stickers would cost that much just to put on my cup. And after I shopped around at other local businesses, some of them don't even have stickers on their cups anymore, so I might toss that out and make my drinks even cheaper at the end. Let me see. What kind of organization do I want to create? Staffing. Eventually, I would love to hire someone under me. If I get my trailer, I would love to hire a college student or a high school student to work under me and maybe do events. Give someone a job, but also work both units at the same time. System and website. I do not currently have a website. I'm all on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I do not see that as an issue yet. Everyone has been finding me just fine. Everyone uses social media often, and it's just been working for my business. And a system, I'm currently just accepting Cash and Square. Square, I was very iffy on it. I heard a lot of bad things and a lot of good things. I'm just working with it right now. And partners and working with different channels. So EforAll has connected me with so many people already, and I'm hoping to continue that. There's people that wasn't even my mentor, and I'm still connected with them, and I'm hoping to continue to grow those relationships. Social impact, what values do I bring? I love to serve people like me. So people that are often forgotten about, not just the 911 community. You have your nonstop studying college student that's up until 1, 2 in the morning who wants coffee as well. And then actually one of my customers works at City Hall. They couldn't leave, I brought them coffee. This is actually an example of my reach on social media. Again, I just opened my page in June, and I'm slowly, I believe, getting there. People are following me. I haven't been great with promoting lately because I've been so busy, but I notice when I'm consistent with posting every day and actually doing those reels on Instagram at least, it's growing tremendously. And my ask. So currently I have my cart, I have my espresso machine, I have everything that I need, I just don't have my generator. So my generator specifically will help me at farmers markets or somewhere that would not provide an energy source for me. And specifically the Honda one, because some places actually don't allow you to have loud generators. It just interrupts the environment. They don't want that obnoxious noise around. So that's why I looked into the Honda. That's currently what's recommended. And it will actually give that source of energy my espresso machine needs and anything else I decide to add in the future. And there you go. I have a QR code for my social media. I'm Priority Brewing on Instagram and Priority Brewing Company on Facebook. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Great job. Let's hear it one more time for Jailyne. Got it done.
Yes.
Got it out of the way. Now we're going to open it up to the judges' questions, and Maria will also keep track of time. So, yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Judges?
Guys are being shy over here. First of all, what a great presentation.
Thank you.
It's not easy to get up there and talk in front of a bunch of people. I thought you did a great job. My question surrounds a couple of things. You talked a lot about your cart.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to pull that cart?
So it actually fits in my SUV. Specifically, I made sure that it's a collapsible cart.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have to rely on getting a trailer or someone having a truck. It literally fits in the back of my SUV, and I'm able to take it down by myself, put it together by myself, and it doesn't weigh a ton where if I have to pick up and bring it somewhere, I can. But it being collapsible definitely helps.
Absolutely. If you decide eventually to get the trailer, have you thought about what that will look like in terms of going forward? Like, because you're working, right?
Yes.
And how that would kind of look going forward?
Yes.
Because it sounds like you want to be full-time eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, I'm not rushing for the trailer, especially since I have the collapsible cart. I'm able to do the vendor events, focus on that, and able to save enough. I really, really want to avoid loans at all costs. I know that's not preventable, and I might have to pivot into that eventually, especially me calculating everything for that trailer. Again, it's an RV. I have to rip everything apart. I have to completely redo the inside. So I'm just enjoying the journey of getting there and not rushing it. But it does look like how I'm going to be setting it up now. I'm going to be part-time for a little while, and hopefully far in the future I'm able to hire someone under me where I can continue gaining revenue from the cart itself, but then me also work the trailer.
Okay. Last question, because I want to let them. I don't drink coffee. So my question to you is, have you thought about expanding to smoothies or teas?
So I don't just do coffees. I do refreshers. I do hot chocolates. I do matcha. I do chai currently. That's the only tea I have. But I eventually do want to get into more teas. I eventually do want to get into smoothies. It just adding that energy source. It will be hard for me at the moment, especially without a certain specific generator. And I don't want to carry more stuff than I need to at certain events. But definitely when I get that trailer, all of that will be accessible, hopefully.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great job. Is this your first time being an entrepreneur?
I actually own a photography business as well.
Awesome.
So it's my first time doing something like this, and I was hoping this program helped me with both, but I decided to wing it and give them an idea that I didn't even create yet.
Awesome. I thought you did a great job with your presentation. That's why I asked. So help me understand the business model. So you go to these locations and you brew the coffee and make the drinks fresh there?
No, so I actually make everything at home currently, or I make them at an event where I have my setup. And then for people that work night shift, I offer delivery. So I make the drinks and then I bring it to you. That costs an extra fee. It's a $5 fee for me to bring it, and you have a certain amount of drinks you need to order before I allow you to do delivery. But yeah, so I just make the drinks prior and then I bring it to you.
So okay. So talk to me like I'm 9 so I can get it.
Okay.
Okay. So the person has to order a certain amount before you deliver, or is it a minimum, like 10?
A minimum.
Okay.
So my minimum is 3 drinks for delivery. So you have to order 3 drinks for me to deliver, but there's also a delivery charge, which is $5.
Okay. And then my last question is, so how long do you work? Like, what's your hours? And then, how long are the hours? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out the model in my head.
So I change it weekly. Again, I'm a mom, so I try to give as much attention to my toddler as possible. She's 2. And then also I work full time, so I change my schedule weekly because even my full-time job, the schedule is very weird. It's not set in stone. It actually changes every week. So I kind of rotate my schedule, and the goal is to eventually do it monthly, but right now weekly works for me.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job echoing everybody. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Couple different questions in 2 different buckets. So the first bucket, what type, you mentioned a little bit about partnerships and, being in contact and communicating with local businesses. Just kind of forecasting that, nothing specific, knowing that nothing specific is there, but kind of where is it going for you as far as what kind of partnerships or what kind of businesses you'd be looking to partner with in the future?
Okay. So I am not very picky on what kind of businesses want to partner with me. I'm more of how can I provide a certain setup for you guys? So for example, there's actually a tattoo shop that wanted to partner with me. They wanted to have me set up one day and serve their customers because they're actually having a grand opening soon. And they just wanted me to set up. I can tell my customers that I'll be at this location, but they'll also tell their customers, hey, we're having a grand opening. There's gonna be a person selling coffees, refreshers, everything else, just refreshments at that time. But I'm very open with who I work with.
Cool. So strategic partnerships in a way. So then also, and that kind of actually segues into one of my next questions, which was about, you mentioned events, which is synergistic and probably why I'm asking this question. But so when it comes to events, what's your vision there for how specifically hosting? I know you talked about vendor events and then you talked about kind of strategic partnership events, but then you also mentioned hosting your own events. Talk a little bit about what that might look like and how that helps your business and your brand.
Yeah, so I participated in my first vendor event maybe a month ago, and I paid the person a $40 fee, and they actually had over 50 other vendors there. So I was able to be around that community, pay people for their products, but also serve people with my products. The goal is to eventually, God willing, have my own space one day and host something like that. I want to actually be able to cater to other vendors and help them sell their products while also doing my business.
Awesome. And then my last question, I'll turn it over to my fellow judges, is less experiential and a little bit more, I don't even know what this category is, maybe part of the business model. How do you manage things, when it comes to food and beverage? There's a whole nother bucket of responsibility when it comes to liabilities and I don't even know because I'm not in the food and beverage space, but I imagine liabilities and licensing and food safety and, that kind of stuff. How do you manage that arm of the business?
So it was definitely hard. I actually took the Serve Safe class with Maria here. I did my allergen online, and it depends now. I'm in the process of going through the health department with my cart. I currently don't have my commercial espresso machine set up. That's been delayed for some reason. It's just been giving me a hard time. But once I have that set up, I'm able to do that process with the health department. But also it depends on the community that's hosting the event. There has been communities that don't need a permit, and I can just set up my station and make sure I have everything proper, like what ServSafe has taught me. But other communities require a food permit or some sort of health department certification, but it just depends on the community.
That's great. Sounds like you're on top of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great job.
I just want to do a quick time check because I'm going to make a comment before I ask a question.
Yes, we are at about two more minutes? Okay.
Okay,
Two more
I'll be
minutes.
brief. Wonderful job. I was really impressed with your presentation. I do want to course correct because you said this is a hobby. This is a business. You have people who are paying, right? You're doing marketing, operations, inventory, purchasing. Please do not downplay your success. You have a business. You are a business owner. And if nobody told you, I'm telling you today. Okay, so let's graduate
you.
past that as a one. Sorry, it's like the big sister in me. I'm like,
Thank
don't
you.
downplay. So a couple questions, 3 to be exact. Why are you interested more so in the trailer versus a traditional food truck? What's the pros and cons, if you could?
So the food truck specifically, it's just an empty trailer that you can pretty much design the way you want to. Whereas the RV that I was looking into, it just has a specific aesthetic that I love personally, and it's just me being picky, to be honest. It's me being picky on how it looks on the outside, how aesthetically pleasing to me it looks, and how it's going to represent me as a business owner. And I honestly haven't seen anything around Springfield, Holyoke, anywhere around here specifically looking like that trailer. So that's why I like it.
Fair enough, fair enough. And ideally, if you did not have a day job, what would your hours of operation be? Because I hear you talk about farmers markets, but then I also, based on the name of the company, see you catering to a late night crowd holistically. So in a perfect world, what would your hours of operations look like to kind of manage all of that?
In a perfect world, I would specifically still do overnights. That's pre-orders. They would have to pre-order like they're doing now. I would be open on evening hours. So your typical coffee shop closes around 2 or 3 o'clock. I would open around 3 and stay open until late. But then a lot of morning people actually order from me also. So I would try to figure out a way to cater to them just because they have been supporting me tremendously.
Okay, awesome. And last question, what does ordering currently look like? So if I go to your Instagram, is there a link that I then follow, or am I sending you a DM? What does that process look like?
So that's where the website comes in. I have to work on that. And also Square. Square offers that, which I'm currently messing with. It's a bit complicated, so it's taking a while for me to get it done. But currently people are just messaging me on Facebook and Instagram and asking me if they can place an order, and I go from there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank
Job well
you.
done again.
We have time for one more.
You did a great job of clearly expressing your vision. It was, very nice. I'm going to just expand upon a couple of things and wondered, have you looked into the permitting and regulations associated with the food truck versus the cart?
I have, but I haven't went into it extensively. Again, I have everything I need for the cart itself. I just need to go through the health department, and that's pretty much it. I am a business in Springfield already. I have the business certificate, so that's all said and done. With the trailer itself, I have spoken to a few people. My mentor, she's actually the owner of Crave Cafe, so she's someone that I was able to pick her brain and randomly, hopefully forever now, bug her. But I haven't really extensively went into the trailer itself because this year I just didn't plan on diving deep into it and stressing myself. But I know next year that's something that I will make a priority.
There's a lot to it, so the only thing I recommend, you have a network here of people that have gone through it and other food trucks that have gone through the program here, so they can be a real help in your researching and figuring out what you need to know. So you have a lot of opportunity. Nice job.
Thank you.
Let's have one more big round of applause for our first entrepreneur of the whole week. You did it.
Yes, I did.
Piece of cake, right? piece of cake. Good job. So we're going to do like a little commercial break so that the judges can gather their thoughts before the next presentation. Great start. Oh, there we go. So we can't do what we do without hundreds of volunteers every year between this program and our Spanish language program. We've had obviously mentors. Raise your hand if you're here. Mentors, I love you so much. And I'm sure some of you are watching from home. The mentors are amazing humans who offer their time and ask for nothing in return. They just love helping you guys. So thank you to our specialists. Over the last 3 months, these entrepreneurs have been learning so much information from amazing people who are experts in their field and are willing to volunteer their time. Of course, the folks who helped interview these people, which feels like forever ago, we could not do it without them, and the people who read applications. Obviously, this rock star crew of judges, thank you so much. And our leadership advisory board, thank you. We have Nora and Mike are here, and you all have been so supportive to me and Jane for so long, and you always say yes, and we just really appreciate you. So thank you for all that you do. Big round of applause. If you do want to volunteer, or if you're interested in giving back in a variety of capacities, please reach out. We are always looking for volunteers. And we are, thank you, ma'am. So good to me. Jane keeps me in line, literally. We are so excited to invite you to a party that we are hosting on Thursday, October 16th at our co-working space on High Street. There's been a lot of really exciting changes at EforAll, and change is hard, it's bittersweet, but we are very excited for the ways that we will be able to continue to help our entrepreneurs who are graduating from the program. We're finally going to have some great opportunities for our alumni, and of course there's going to be a lot of ways to celebrate, but you know, change is a part of life. It's the only constant. So we want to celebrate with you. You're all invited, and you can just email us and tell us that you're planning on coming, and we're gonna have some light appetizers. So just help us celebrate. Things are exciting. We love it. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Up next, Lori, come on down. It's like The Price is Right. I just don't have the music for you, you know?
That's okay.
And as a reminder...
How old I am, that's Bob.
There you go. You stand there, and then just that.
This one?
Yep.
All right.
And let Maria know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready, Maria. Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've all gone to a wedding or a party and been exposed to one of these lovely boards like this. Beautiful, but everybody's hands touch it. Uncle Bob ate all the Gouda. Some 5-year-old had his hand in that corner. It becomes a little ick, if you ask me. What if I could offer you an experience where everyone got their own little board? That's me. I'm a nurse, the scrubs. I've spent a lot of time feeding nurses. Look at how happy she is over there. I've always been the one to throw the potlucks, organize the celebrations. This is my rudimentary workday charcuterie over here. I was exposed to the culinary arts in high school, decided that I didn't want a job that required me to work nights, weekends, and holidays, and became a nurse anyway. It's been a great career, but it's time for a little something new. Enter Grazescape. Grazescape is an experience-based mobile charcuterie, snack, dessert bar experience, focusing primarily parties like weddings, but also smaller events, corporate events, things like that. My customer segment that I identified through the program at EforAll are engaged couples. What I learned about most engaged couples planning their weddings, they are looking to give their guests something that makes them feel a little bit more special. They're focused on themselves and they're enjoying their day, but they have brought all of their friends and family around, and they want to make them feel like they're part of an experience. My cart can do that. Takes the pressure off of the bride because she doesn't have to worry. I give everybody a little bit of attention, personalized attention, and I feed them a nice little snack. So my goals that I came up with through the Accelerator were to develop a functional website. I have a placeholder. It's not as easy as I thought. I have not the best tech skills, but I'm getting there. I use Shopify with another endeavor, and one of the other mentors that's here tonight, not my mentor, but he recommended to me during the mid sessions that why don't you use what you're comfortable with? So I went to my Shopify website, turned it into Grazescape, and at least I have a placeholder where people can potentially reach out and contact me. I had set a goal to increase my social media presence, which I have done, posting more regularly, trying to target my primary customer segment as well as other segments that I talked about. Having a little bit of trouble with booking events. I think it's just, some of it is the time of year. I did participate in one bridal expo. It was a very small event. There's a larger one coming up in November in the area. I'm still a little bit on the fence if I want to participate. They're quite expensive. But I keep telling myself if I pay for the attendance and I book one 200-person wedding, I've paid for plus my attendance. I set a couple of stretch goals that were to kind of expand and broaden. When I mentioned when I first started, it was charcuterie, and in talking to people and sharing what I was doing, more and more ideas came up. Why don't you offer this? Why don't you offer that? And really, with the cart that I have, the options are pretty endless. So I would love to purchase a specialized chocolate fountain that I can have the cart retrofitted to fit. And then do fruit with chocolate. I do have a goal to purchase a second cart, although I feel that that's a little bit more probably going into my second year. So in that first 2 quarters of the 18 months. When I ran the numbers, I was pretty well surprised. I figured that it would be a profitable endeavor. Money's not my strong point, so and what I assume isn't always true. I found, I'm still going to be working and booking a minimum number of events for that first year. I'm going to do well. I can double in the second, the quarter number 5 and 6. Double my events, probably take on a part-time employee and pay myself a fairly decent salary and still be making a fairly decent return. My 18-month goal, my 3 to 5 year goal, as I say, it takes a village. I know that it's going to take me some marketing help. I am going to need to learn how to balance finances, even if that means hiring somebody to do it for me or to teach me how, and then I will need to hire employees. Why? Just personal success. I've worked really hard at a career that I feel good about. I've raised my children. They're mostly grown, and I feel like it's time to focus on something else that brings me joy. And this brings me joy, a lot of joy. And it's never too late. Here's my cart, which I had custom built for myself. My ask I would like to add a refrigerated unit to the cart, which will increase my ability to do more events. I tested it out over the summer at a couple of events. It was very hot. Using ice and ice packs, it works, but for a short period of time. Having the refrigerated unit, which costs about $550, is, going to be infinitely better and make the Board of Health a lot happier. I will need to have the cart retrofit. The top comes off, so my thought is actually, rather than to adjust the top that I already have, because it is useful in certain situations, just to have a second top made. The mistake I did make was not having the cart made collapsible, because it was going to cost me more money. So currently I have to lift it into my SUV. I can do it, but it's not easy. And it makes loading everything else even more difficult. I have to kind of have it hanging out and load a cooler and things inside of it and then push it in with all of that weight. So I believe I can have the cart retrofit, new top, and retrofit to a collapsible version for about $1,000. Over here you see my little friend that I discovered. And something I want to offer as an add-on, I purchased one. It's a roaming station. I tried out at the bridal event roaming cannoli, and it was a huge success. People apparently in the area, according to event organizers, are asking for such a thing, and it doesn't exist in our area. I would like to add 3 more so that I can have 2 people operating an event and hopefully multiple events going at once. And offering other things such as milk and cookies, cannoli, gelato, anything you can think of, really. So I'd like to add 3 more, and that will cost me about $450. So in total, about $2,000. That's it.
Great job, Lori.
Thank you.
All right, judges. Questions, please.
Great job.
Thank you.
I got more of a statement. I'm gonna be quick, I promise. So, I think if you marketed this right, they would be like clamoring for you. Like what you did with that first slide that made me go like, ugh. That should be in everything, and then from that, ugh, you go, no, here's the solution. If you give more of like, so you want people looking at the charcuterie board as they see it, and they're like, I don't want that, I want Lori's. So that's, if you do that, then you're good. So my question is, how much is it to book you?
So what I've come up with, a minimum of 25 for 350, and that's 2 hours of bottomless
Hold on one
service.
second, because I'm a mentor too.
Yes.
Say that with confidence.
A minimum of 25 people for $350, and that includes 2 hours of bottomless service.
Awesome.
My hope is to, and then offer 50, for 50 people, 500, and then it would increase per 50 by 500. The average wedding size in this area is about 200 guests, so about a $2,000 cost.
So just say that real smooth. So we range from 50, we cater from 50 and above. So then they say what they want, and you give them your number, and they go, that's a great deal.
Thank
and don't
you.
be afraid of money. Money is how you gonna. You have a great idea. Don't be afraid of money. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll jump in next because the whole time you were going through the presentation till you showed the cart, I was just trying to figure out logistically how this worked. Like, do I get to customize my own board? Because that's half my battle with the charcuterie board. It's like, I don't even like half these cheeses. Why didn't I get to pick my own, right? You have something really awesome here. I do think that there's an opportunity for you to pivot in the storytelling to show that you have such an amazing option for folks. I just left a wedding in New York, and the Roman cannoli things, people were losing their minds for it.
Thank you.
So there is a very clear market. The questions I do have is, how are you thinking about food allergies, right? Because that is a big thing in terms of nuts versus cheeses. Do you have options for everyone? And is that an additional cost if I wanted to have gluten-free options, or is it bottomless across the board?
I would offer bottomless across the board because I am quite aware of food allergies and preferences. The problem that I do have currently is that I use a shared kitchen space, so I can't control a lot of the allergens. Ultimately, I mean, it would be great in my 3 to 5 year plan to have my own space that is a cafe and its own kitchen where I could have a dedicated space that offered, even like vegan and dairy-free options as well as other allergens.
Very good. And then last question, do you have any social media preference, or is that something that you're going to be working towards?
I do. I have social media presence. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I started a TikTok, and then I have the website.
All right. Job well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. What a great concept to mirror what they said. My question to you is, sounds like right now you're trying to go to a big events. Are you doing small events where someone comes up, picks a few things and you charge a price?
I'm trying.
Okay.
It's a little bit difficult. There's a lot of logistics with permitting. I am permitted. I have a caterer's license in my base of operation in that town. So I'm most flexible in that town, which is a small town. We're nearing the end of farmers market season, but that's in my radar for next year. I have sort of been tagging and kind of poking at wineries, breweries, that sort of thing on social media. I do have a tree lighting event lined up in the end of November, but I would like to do some of those vendor events. I have experience with vendor events with another product I used to sell. So I'm quite comfortable with them, but a lot of it does come down to the permitting.
I was thinking in my head for you on how you could expand, and I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think the big picture is the big events, right? But getting your name out there.
Yeah.
And I love the fountain idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice presentation, and thank you for your work as a nurse.
Thank
It's
you.
a tough job. My questions go back to your business plan, and your first goal, I think, in one of your quarters showed about $40,000 in revenue. How many events would you have to complete to reach that?
That was, I believe, 12 events with 12 charcuterie with 12 dessert add-ons.
Okay, and how much is the dessert add-on?
About $1,000 to $1,500, depending on what it is.
Oh, much more money than the actual initial.
Well, I'm basing that on a 200-person.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other question I had is, have you looked at, other markets and ways that you could expand beside events and doing kits or things like that you could reduce the output?
Yeah, I've thought about maybe trying like a board of the month sort of thing where it would be smaller boards. I'm a little bit intimidated by building the large boards, but I've been working on it. I think that the farmers markets are another thing, but it's kind of an awful time of year for that. My thought is also that would give me an opportunity sometimes to use product in multiple ways to prevent waste. If I do an event on Saturday and I have XYZ left, I can repurpose it into like some sort of pasta salad or something and sell it at a farmer's market.
Nice. And the last thing I would say is spend a lot of time learning the regulation, because those are the things that trip us up all along the way.
Yes, it has been a challenge. Thank you.
There are a lot of resources and networks, so you're in the right place, but ask lots of questions.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, maybe I'm not close enough. Okay, here I go. I think I just ate it. Okay. Thank you so much. Wonderful presentation, amazing idea. Thank you for sharing it with the world. One clarifying question, it was close to that. So this model is mostly a in-person event vendor, an interactive vendor in person. It's not a delivery model so much that you can get a board for your wedding. It can be dropped off for cocktail hour. Okay. Which I love. I think interactivity and engagement, I think that's what the world just thrives on, especially in events right now. So thank you. I love that. And so could you walk us through, so I have three questions. The first is, can you kind of walk us through the guest experience? So knowing that it's interactive and it's engaging, but I'm a guest at a wedding. I see you over there in the corner during cocktail hour. I'm all excited. I walk up. What's the experience of the guest at your cart?
So you approach, most people are very excited, they have questions. They often, the question is, do I make it myself or do you make it for me? I make it for you because I don't want everybody's hands in there. Yeah. So I have, for small events, nice wooden reusable boards. For larger events, those will be difficult to keep track of. And they were quite an investment for only 60 of them. So I think for now, just sticking with something that maybe is disposable, but a little bit nicer than a paper plate. I've looked at like wooden, the palm leaf
Sure.
plates. So what I usually say to people, I have 12 vessels in the cart. You can choose whichever items you do and don't like. And if they are somebody that is a little picky and tends to not want all of the items, I will give extra of what it is that they do want.
Okay, amazing. So it's customized,
Yeah,
it's this own curated experience, your own, okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and then I usually have on the side a basket with honeys and spreads for them to choose from.
Wonderful. And then my second question, knowing on girls' nights when I run to the grocery store before that or before book club and I go to buy the cheese and the meat, it is the most expensive thing in the grocery store to buy cheese and meat. Do you find that now that's me being a consumer and going to girls' nights, but do you find from being on the catering side of things, is food cost a challenge for you? Is that reflected in your pricing? How do you kind of manage that a little bit?
I'm a bit of a shopper. I like a bargain, so I'm not afraid to go to more than one location if that's what I need to do. I have found that buying in bulk at Costco and BJ's is the most cost effective. I did a large board for my sister-in-law's birthday recently. It was my R&D, I called it, for the holidays. And I was at Restaurant Depot, so I bought the fruit at Restaurant Depot. The quality was not as good as what I can find in the grocery store or at Costco, and it was the same exact price. So it is, I think, some fine tuning just to find what is the best prices where. And the other thing is that initially, like when I came up with this concept, and I'm a foodie, I was like, oh, gourmet this and gourmet that. And then I realized people don't actually care. It's about the experience. They're just as happy with the Cabot cheddar as they are with some kind of fancy cheese, or maybe even more so.
Amazing. And then I'm not sure if I have time. My final question is just about staffing. Do you have a plan? So thinking about like the roaming, stuff like that. If you're getting an additional cart, is the sort of long-term plan is staffing on that?
Yeah, so with an additional cart and larger events also, I think I will need a second set of hands in general. Where they will come from, I'm not sure at this point. The roaming carts, I have this idea. I live near UMass Amherst. I've employed a lot of college students as babysitters over the years. That's who I want to be walking around the wedding dance floor with my roaming carts.
Weddings is a lot like babysitting. So you're right on point there. Thank you
I want
very
young,
much.
fun people that are going to get on the dance floor and dance while they're filling your cannoli.
Yes. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for
welcome.
the time.
Thank you.
Another round of applause for Lori. We'll give the judges some time. All right. So you heard me earlier. The applications are actually open right now for our Winter 2026 Accelerator program. So right now, up until, is there a deadline, Tessa? November 6th is the deadline for the Accelerator program. So if anyone's streaming in, if you have any friends, any family members who are inspired by you, or just, anyone, have them apply for the Accelerator program. It is going to be very different, but it's exciting. I'm excited to see how it rolls out. They have up until November to apply. And there should be some numbers. I know that, Tessa, how long are you guys going to be at the co-work space?
Until November.
November, okay. So have them apply now, okay? So if they have any technical issues, we'll have the ladies at the co-work space to help out. But if not, I'm sure there's some numbers on the website that can assist you as well. It's very different from how we have applied before, but it's fun. It's very fun what they've created so far in the last few months that I've seen. And this is going to be very exciting. I mean, anyone in the U.S. can apply now, so it's nationwide. So just make sure that if you have anyone that doesn't even live in this area, have them look into the website and apply for the program, okay? I'm going to slowly click. All right. So up next and last for tonight is Iliana. Try to stay right here. We're going to click right here, okay?
Sure thing.
Whenever you're ready, you let Maria know.
All right. All right. Hello, friends. I would like to start off today by asking you guys to do me a favor. First of all, there we go. I'd like to ask you, when was the last time you've either shaved or done anything to remove any of your body hair? Shaving this morning, grabbing the tweezers, anything like that. Now, think about the first time you've had to do that and starting that whole process. What if I told you you never had to do that again? My name is Iliana Eclipse, and my business is Eclipse Electrolysis, a safe and accepting clinic in Northampton offering permanent hair removal services. So electrolysis does result in no more needing to shave, tweeze, pluck, etc. But it is a very spicy process trying to fight biology, and that's something I know from experience. We have here my before and after. My story actually starts off with my transition from male to female and getting electrolysis to start off with. And I have to say, for such a niche community, it was disheartening how many struggles I faced trying to get the services I needed. First, all the facial hair I needed, and then to get bottom surgery. So when I started transitioning, my life turned upside down. And as I came out through it, I saw a way to help my community and help them not deal with the struggles I went through. And also give back a little bit. And so, after a few years of training, relocating across states, and a lost car, my business was born. All right, so to start off with the SMART goals I had for my business. So the way I did my SMART goals is I had one goal that was my weekly goal. That was usually something small, like post some flyers around, go and present my business at some event, or go networking somewhere. Then I'd have a monthly goal. So throughout the program, 3 months, I had 3 of them. The first month was do more social media posting. The second one was August, so end of summer. Sunlight and electrolysis don't mix very well, so I want to capitalize on that by doing some promotions. And then for this month, I want to get a new website done. I did not get that done because a certain presentation ended up taking a lot of my time. But anyway, that brings us to my stretch goal, which is purchasing a new epilator. This is the main tech I use for my business. Basically, this is what delivers current to the cells that would grow that hair and eventually gets rid of them. The machine over here is the one I have right now. You could see that there's at least an aesthetic difference between the two of them. What changes is the newer one has some different modalities or ways to deliver the current to the hair, and just some more settings that I can control to really adjust the settings that I'm giving. Okay, moving on to the customer segment and value proposition. So I'm treating hairs, but that's not what my clients are coming in to get. They're coming in to increase their confidence. they're trying to beat their demons that they see whenever they look at their face or see that hair. They're trying to prepare for surgery. They're trying to just get some convenience about not needing to shave. Either way, they're trying to get the body they deserve to have. And I know a few people who are looking for this. So one of the first things I do with any of my clients is get a consultation where I talk with them, learn about what they're after, explain the process, do some paperwork, and do a patch test. I also get a lot of demographic data, and I know that most of my clients fit into one of three categories. First, we have trans women like myself. These are people who are transitioning from male to female. They're usually in the age range of 20 to 60, and they're trying to remove their facial hair as part of their transition. The second main group is cis women, also with facial hair, but now it's from either PCOS or hirsutism, anything that's causing male pattern hair growth. The last one are trans people trying to get surgery prep. The picture is censored because I'm often working on private areas, and I'm trying to keep this from going not safe for work. What is safe for work is my 18-month forecast, which we start off in February, which is where my business actually got created. And we have all the quarters I'm expecting to go into from there. So Q1, we see a little bit of growth. Thank you. And then Q2, a lot more growth. And that's kind of where I've been since. We are right now nearing the end of Q3. You can see the big things that have happened for me in these quarters is mostly around the EforAll program. Looking at Q4, one of the goals I'm looking to have is get that updated website going and perform an ad blitz for the new year, something like New Year, no hair. Looking at the fifth quarter, this is around tax season, and so I know I'm going to need to do a lot of work on my taxes, but also I'm hoping to capitalize on tax season next year. And then Q6, next summer, I'm hoping to have my new uploader by then. All right. Moving on to the finances part. So the base overhead is rent, insurance, licensing costs, and some marketing. And that comes to about $3,000 each quarter. The graph, I realized I did not properly put the legend on there, but the blue line refers to ZAP hours, which is the number of hours I'm working with clients. And then the gold line refers to revenue, and that's in hundreds of dollars. So we'll see by the end of Q6, I'm hoping to be doing around 150 hours with clients each quarter, and that should be making me around $13,000. For the flexible costs, I did a little bit differently. I calculated it. That is a few single-use disposable items and the amount of money that I would have made in regular employment for the same amount of time, because electrolysis is done in time sessions. And that comes to about 40% for each hour I'm working. All right. This slide just has some of those disposable items I have. Nothing too crazy. So now the slide that breaks everything down. How is my business organized? It's a single member LLC, and I'm the single member. Hi there. But I'll break down a little bit more. So to do electrolysis, first of all, you need a license. That requires 1,100 hours of training with the state of Massachusetts. It's different in each state. Also, you have to do a test here at the pass the test. Next, to actually practice, you need to have an equipped and fully inspected office. It's inspected by the state's Board of Cosmetology and Barbering, and that was why I could not start until February. Then the electrolysts themselves need to have a lot of patience, focus, and hand-eye coordination because it's needed. And then there's a new client pipeline, which is actually getting clients to come in. that starts off when they decide that they need my services because of how the process goes. We schedule a consultation where they can come in. We do that consultation and then start treatments. I offer 30-minute, hour-long, and 2-hour-long sessions. After that, there's a post-treatment stuff, collect the payment, schedule the next one, and do some paperwork. So the social impact of what I do, I help my clients feel more confident. I help them feel more safe because there's a lot of politics in hair removal, and some people, especially women, feel safe about having male-looking facial hair. I can support my clients by helping connect them with the services they need, by learning the expertise of my clients, and then I'm trying to be more visible. I'm speeding up because I'm running out of time, and I have to go into my ask. Which is the hardest part for me? So what I want to do is ask you guys to provide treatments for my clients. What I'm saying is for every $50, I get a word through the program. That is my time. Oh, come on.
Finish.
Sorry.
Go ahead and.
Yeah. So for every $50 I get, I'll be providing a treatment to one client I have who has been unable to complete their services because life happens, everything's getting more expensive, and I want to help out.
You have all the time. Go ahead.
I know it's a little unconventional. The money I get, I will eventually be using for that new epilator, but I'm not good at asking for help for myself. And this is actually something I've been wanting to do. I've talked with Jane and my mentors about it. So I'm looking at this as kind of a trial run, get the logistics going, see if I can actually get some kind of sustainable funding and get this going beyond just at the end of EforAll. All right, I do have time for questions, and I'm sure I'll have been asked most of them during my consultations, but thank you guys.
Judges, you can begin asking questions.
Well, I'll get us started here. First off, job well done. Very
Thank you.
impressive. And we'll clap to that again. Yes, absolutely. I really appreciate you being so vulnerable about your own journey and being willing to share that not only with all of us here, but with your clients. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
You're welcome.
I do have a couple questions, just trying to better understand the business model holistically. So what is the cost to the customer for the difference being that 30, 60, and then I believe you said 2-hour session?
Of course. Right, I didn't go over that. So for a 30-minute session, I don't get too many of those. Those are $50. Most sessions I do are an hour long, and those go for $90. And then a 2-hour session, I go for $150. I offer for $150.
Good job. And could you talk to me a little bit about why you did it based on time versus body part, for example? Because if I think about your competitive landscape, most will do a section, right? So it's your underarms or your legs, so on and so forth, and that's a fixed price. So why are you going for the time model instead?
Okay. So I know that model is used primarily with laser, which does not matter how much hair is in the area. Electrolysis is going hair by hair. So let's go with someone's face. Someone who has, let's go with 50 hairs on their face is not going to need as much electrolysis as someone who has 500 hairs on their face, which is more what I had when I started. So someone who has closer to 500 hairs, they're going to need multiple hours of electrolysis just to get that full clearing. So that's why I do the time-based session, because it's based on the hair that's available, and there's not any concrete, this body part has this much hair that can be followed with electrolysis.
That makes complete sense. Thank you for explaining that. And then last
welcome.
question, is there any customer that is not viable in terms of, does it matter the thickness of the hair or the actual color of it?
So that's another thing that laser has. Laser is limited by certain hair-skin combinations. Electrolysis doesn't have any of that. As long as I could see the hair and get my probe into it, I could treat it. There are some hairs, especially those inside the body, I can't treat, like nose hairs, inner ear hairs, stuff like that. But anything else, I could treat it.
Awesome. Job well done again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job conveying not only your vision and your story, but how the social impact is going to be affected. So nice job with that. And dealing with the technical issues. Those will always come up, so always be ready to roll with the punches.
Always.
I'm curious, when you're talking about this, how many sessions would one individual possibly need? If you're getting a grant for somebody, or you're doing a small area, will that cover a large area, or will they need the potential for follow-up after that?
Definitely. So the process of electrolysis, it's not one treatment gets rid of that hair completely. Each hair usually takes about 3 to 4 treatments until it starts coming back entirely. So repeat sessions are usually needed. The length of the session really depends on how much hair they have at the beginning and how skilled the electrologist is, because not all electrologists are working at the same speed. A lot of my clients that have started the process from when I began are already seeing drastic results and have gone down to coming in for a full clear once a month.
Okay, nice job. You did a very good job of explaining the social value of your proposition. Can you expand on the financial value of that and how you're going to meet your goals and your financial objectives?
Like my own financial goals?
Like break-even points and things of that nature.
Oh, of course. So I actually did the math out separately from the program, and my break-even point was around actually 30 hours for the full month. So that would come to about, so that was around that 90 clients for the month, for the quarter. I've got to be honest, those numbers do not feel accurate for when I've actually been working, but I went through them with a fine-tooth comb. What else did you ask for?
No, that's a good point. Is doing a best case scenario and a worst case scenario is always good, so you can see, find somewhere to fall in between.
I've been trying to do that. When I started, I definitely made a bunch of different projections about how much growth I would have. And I've actually found I've been following the lowest growth model pretty steadily, but I'm not sure how much of that is a bottleneck I found from scheduling.
Huh. Nice job. And learn to ask what you need. It's good to work for other people, but you also have to take care of yourself to take care of others. So you have to be able to ask for what you need straight, too.
What?
It's an interesting concept, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I want to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to asking, the worst someone can say is no. You're not going to die if someone says no. As an entrepreneur, get used to no. Sometimes it's 97 no's to get 3 yeses. So once you embrace no, everything else gets smoother.
Thank you. I do understand that, but it's one of those things that's much easier said than done. But thank you.
So here's what every successful entrepreneur that I know, just 2 things they have in common.
Okay. 1
is thick skin, and then 2 is determination. So once you develop that thick skin, the no's roll off. And then you just, what starts to happen, you go, well, you know what, maybe I didn't explain myself good enough. And then the next time you're going to explain yourself better. So by the time you get to 97, you probably have 20 yeses because you explain yourself the right way.
Thank you. I understand.
All right. So I love the name. I love that your last name is in the name. I think that's really cool. So my question to you is, for customer acquisition, what's your plan to acquire your customers?
So, Mostly what I try to do is make myself as visible as possible. I work heavily on the online place, SEO. I really do need to get better at social media. I did get better at posting with that first goal, but I really do need to keep on working on it and get even better. And then I'm just keeping my eye out, trying to network, finding ways to connect with the clients who are really looking for my services. I know of a certain places where there's overlap, like I like to go to Pride festivals because there's often a lot of people who are looking for my services.
So, great answer. So even with that, all it is connecting with the people that need what you have and tell them that you have it. Don't keep this entrepreneurship thing simple, because you seem very intellectual and you think a lot, and that's a gift and a curse as an entrepreneur.
Yes,
right?
it is.
So that's why I said earlier, talk to me like I'm 9 years old. Like, how would 9-year-old you do this and let 9-year-old you run your marketing?
You are very correct. Thank you.
Hi, first I want to say thank you for your presentation. Being vulnerable and share your own story says a lot about your character.
Thank
and
you.
I think that's huge to your success to your business. My question for you is, are you doing this in a setting right now, like in an office setting? Okay.
My office is located in Northampton. I have my office set up. I'm currently accepting clients right now.
Okay. And are you having your clients fill out paperwork, medical background, information about?
Yes, that is the paperwork in that consultation. Every client, before we start, has to fill out a health history card where I go over anything that could be a contraindication, asking about heart conditions, skin conditions, other diseases, going over their hormone history to make sure there's not anything that's causing the hair to be coming back. And then just finding out what they do to remove that hair currently, making sure that the process will work for them the way that they want.
And that's kind of why I asked the question, because there's so many sensitivities with skin and food today and how food affects our systems. Have you had any clients that have had any health conditions that were concerning that you might have not been able to assist?
So I do give all my clients a what to expect. There have been a few clients who have reached out saying that they've had a more intense reaction than we expected.
Right.
And anytime that's happened, it's not something I haven't seen before because I saw a lot of these in school, but I understand a lot of them are like scared. So I help relieve their anxiety, console them, let them know what's going on and how to treat everything that's happened. There has been no like long-term problems since. In fact, I have been helping some people who have had problems from overtreatments from other technicians clean that up.
And my last question, I don't want to take too much time.
Yeah.
Do you have to carry a liability insurance for?
Yes.
You do. Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And even if I didn't, I would.
Great presentation. Thank you for answering the questions.
Thank you.
We have room for one more question.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. Amazing. I had a couple questions. Let me pick one. Okay. So one question. I love how you broke down your goals into like a really digestible and thoughtful strategic plan. I admire that, and I'll probably adopt that into some of my own business practices. So in that plan and sort of in that idea of breaking down goals and, you know, kind of planning long term, do you have, knowing there's the office and there's the paperwork and there's, you know, kind of all these things, is there a plan for growing a team and, you know, to kind of help spread out, you know, some of that work so you can be in there servicing clients, getting those, you know, making the magic happen while, you know, sort of other business operations can be happening simultaneously?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So a lot of electrologists do tend to create their own businesses, but I do feel one thing I would like to do, because it's kind of how I started, is I like to help people get into the field, help them get their training, and then give them a place to get started. So like that, I would start growing, getting more technicians working with me. By this time, I'm hoping that I would need multiple pieces of equipment. Basically, each client would need a different room, but that is a goal I have.
That's great. That's great. And even technicians too. And then I'm thinking, people handle the marketing and the social media and the website and all that stuff. And that's amazing.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Great job, Iliana. One more round of applause for Iliana. Wow, they did so amazing. You guys did so amazing. Okay, let's go. Judges are going to be completing because we're going to be done all by Friday with all the scoring, right? Okay, good. All right. Let's go. All right. So I want to give another round of applause to the judges. Thank you so much for being out here today with us. We made it special these 3 nights of judging. I tried to just tap into all of our past EforAll volunteers. You all have volunteered in some which way or form several times, if not once. So this is special the next 3 nights. So just thank you. Thank you so much for coming back and supporting us and continuing to volunteer. It means a lot to me. And thank you to Holyoke Media. Scott's back there doing his thing. Scott, thank you so much for having us. They make it so easy. We come here, we just set up our stuff, little to nothing, and they have everything set up, the mics, the tables, everything. So thank you so much, Holyoke Media. And they do this for just about anyone as long as it aligns with their mission. So utilize this space. They're amazing. So thank you again. And then showcase and celebration. We are going to be celebrating all of you. You guys have done an amazing job. You stuck with me for the past 12 weeks, and thank you so much. You're doing great so far. I've seen your presentations, and I'm very proud of you. October 23rd, mark it in your calendars if you haven't already, so we can celebrate, showcase, and show the world what you guys will, show the community what you guys have been working on. This is going to be in downtown Springfield. Our keynote speaker is going to be Ray Berry. He's actually one of our first keynote speakers for when we started the Accelerator out here in the Pioneer Valley. So again, something very special for us. There's going to be some networking, some cash prizes, and just a really great time. So if you haven't already, mark this down, save the date, and this is open to everyone, family friendly as well. And if you don't already, follow us on our social media platforms, EforAll Pioneer Valley. We're on Instagram, on Facebook. We have LinkedIn, and right? Yep, all of that greatness, even on YouTube. And then our website, eforall.org. And thank you. Thank you again for being here with us.